Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a vast desert, the sun beating down on your skin, the horizon stretching endlessly in every direction. In the distance, you see a shimmering oasis, a place where you believe you'll finally find peace, joy, and fulfillment. Your heart leaps with hope. You start walking, your steps quickening as the oasis seems to grow closer. But the closer you get, the more it fades. You keep walking, your throat dry, your legs aching, but it's always just out of reach. That's what chasing happiness feels like, and I know because I've been there. When I was 35, I thought I'd be happy when I became a manager. I worked long hours, skipped family dinners, and pushed myself to the brink. I remember one evening my daughter Sarah came into my study. She was 7 years old, holding a crayon drawing of our family, stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. "Daddy, look," she said, her eyes shining with pride. I glanced at it, mumbled something about how nice it was, and went back to my work. She stood there for a moment, her little shoulders slumping, and then she walked away. That moment still haunts me. I was so focused on chasing success that I missed the joy right in front of me. When I finally got that promotion, I thought, this is it, I've made it. But the joy lasted about as long as a snowflake in July. I was still the same person, just with a fancier title. And my daughter? She was growing up without me. I'd traded her childhood for a corner office, and it wasn't until years later that I realized the cost. Then I thought, maybe it's money. So I saved every penny, dreaming of the day I'd retire early and live the good life. I told myself, when I have enough, I'll finally be happy. But when that day came, I felt empty. I'd spent so much time chasing the finish line that I'd forgotten to enjoy the race. I had the money, but I'd lost the moments that made life worth living. I've lived through 9 decades, my friends. I've seen people chase fame, fortune, and success, only to find themselves more lost than ever. I've seen millionaires who couldn't buy happiness, and celebrities who felt more alone than ever. And I've come to this realization: the things we chase aren't what we're really after. What we're really chasing is a feeling of being loved, accepted, and enough. But here's the secret. You can give yourself that feeling right now. You don't need to wait for the perfect partner, the perfect job, or the perfect body. You're already enough, just as you are. Let me tell you about my friend Martha. She's 85 years old, and every morning, rain or shine, she's out in her garden. Her hands, wrinkled and weathered, gently pull weeds and plant seeds. She talks to her roses as if they're old friends, and she doesn't care that her knees ache or that her back isn't what it used to be. She's too busy marveling at the way the sun hits her flowers, turning their petals into tiny miracles. Martha's one of the happiest people I know. And do you know why? Because she's stopped chasing happiness. She's found it, right here, in the present moment. She's learned to live in the now, and it's transformed her life. Then there's my neighbor, Sam. He's 91 and he still reads a book a week. His eyesight isn't what it used to be, so he uses a magnifying glass, but he doesn't let that stop him. He's not worried about his age or his thinning hair. He's too busy exploring new worlds through the pages of a novel. Sam's not waiting for someday to be happy. He's choosing to be happy today. He once told me, "Every book is a new adventure, and every day is a gift," and he lives like he means it. Here's what I've learned after 93 years. Happiness isn't something you find. It's something you create. It's not about what you have or what you achieve. It's about how you choose to see the world and yourself. It's about the moments you pause to notice the beauty around you, the kindness you show to others, and the love you give to yourself. I used to keep a journal. I'd write down my goals, my dreams, and all the things I thought I needed to be happy. But you know what I discovered? The happiest entries weren't the ones about my achievements. They were the ones about the small moments, the sound of my granddaughter's laughter as she chased butterflies in the yard, the smell of fresh bread baking in the oven, the warmth of the sun on my face as I sat on the porch with a cup of tea. Those were the moments that truly mattered. Those were the moments that made life worth living. Here's the secret I've learned. The journey is the destination. Life isn't about reaching the mountaintop. It's about the climb. It's about the lessons you learn, the people you meet, and the person you become along the way. Every step, every stumble, every victory, it's all part of the adventure. And if you're too focused on the summit, you'll miss the beauty of the path. I look back at my life, and I see a man who spent too much time chasing things that didn't matter. But I also see a man who learned, grew, and finally understood what truly matters. And that's what I want for you, to stop chasing and start living, to find joy in the present moment, because that's where life happens. Let me share a story. A few years ago, I had a patient, let's call her Edith. She was 92, and she came to me complaining about her wrinkles. She wanted to buy the same $12 moisturizer her 70-year-old daughter-in-law used. I looked at her and said, "Edith, you're 92. You've lived through wars, raised a family, and traveled the world. And you're worried about wrinkles?" She laughed, and so did I. But it made me think, when do we stop worrying about what we look like and start appreciating what we've become? Here's the thing. Life is full of beauty, but we often miss it because we're too busy chasing something else. We're so focused on the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey. But the truth is, the journey is where the magic happens. It's where we learn, grow, and become the best versions of ourselves. I've learned that happiness isn't about having everything. It's about appreciating what you have. It's about finding joy in the small moments, the smell of fresh coffee in the morning, the sound of birds singing outside your window, the warmth of a loved one's hand in yours. Those are the moments that make life worth living. So here's my challenge to you. What would it feel like to be happy right now? Would it feel like sitting in the sun with a cup of tea? Would it feel like laughing with a loved one? Would it feel like finally letting go of the need to prove yourself? Whatever it is, give yourself permission to feel that way today. You're already enough. You always have been. Life is short, my friends. Don't waste it chasing illusions. The happiness you're looking for is already within you. All you have to do is choose it. Thank you for listening.